Pastoral Counseling on Divorce and Separation, Part 1. Hello, and thank you for joining today's session on Pastoral Counseling for Divorce and Separation. As ministers, it is essential to approach divorce and separation with compassion, understanding, and wisdom. These experiences can be deeply painful for individuals, often causing grief, confusion, and a sense of failure. Your role is to provide a safe space for healing, to offer practical advice when needed, and to remind individuals of the ever-present love of God and the grace He offers, even during times of brokenness. Understanding the context. Communication breakdown. Effective communication is the foundation of any healthy relationship. When communication falters, misunderstandings and feelings of isolation can develop. Over time, these issues may escalate into larger conflicts. Often, one or both partners may feel unheard, unappreciated, or misunderstood, which breeds frustration and emotional distance. Communication breakdown can manifest in various ways, such as avoiding difficult conversations. One or both partners may avoid discussing important or sensitive issues, resulting in unresolved problems. Misunderstanding intentions. Small, unintentional comments or actions can be misconstrued, leading to feelings of disrespect or hurt. Emotional withdrawal. Instead of addressing concerns or frustrations, one or both partners may emotionally withdraw, creating a barrier to connection and intimacy. Lack of active listening. Without attentive listening, one partner may feel ignored or invalidated, leading to disconnection. Over time, these patterns can erode trust and create an emotional divide, making it more difficult for couples to resolve issues or maintain their bond. Infidelity or betrayal. Infidelity, whether emotional or physical, is a deep betrayal that can severely damage the trust that forms the foundation of a marriage. For many, the discovery of infidelity leads to feelings of heartbreak, anger, and betrayal, making it difficult to rebuild the relationship. The effects of infidelity are profound, including loss of trust. Once trust is broken, it can be incredibly difficult to regain, leaving one or both partners feeling uncertain about the authenticity of future promises or commitments. Emotional scars. The partner who was betrayed may struggle with feelings of insecurity, self-doubt, and inadequacy, which can impact their mental health and future relationships. Confusion about commitment. The partner who committed the infidelity may face inner turmoil, questioning their own motivations and relationship goals. In some cases, they may realize they no longer wish to be in the marriage. While some couples can navigate the aftermath of infidelity and choose to rebuild, for others, it may be an insurmountable barrier that leads to separation or divorce. Emotional or physical abuse. Emotional or physical abuse. Abuse, whether emotional, physical, or psychological, is one of the most serious and dangerous factors that can lead to divorce or separation. An abusive relationship creates a toxic environment where one partner feels unsafe, degraded, and powerless. This can manifest in various forms, including physical violence, hitting, slapping, or any form of physical assault that threatens the safety of one partner. Emotional manipulation. Manipulating emotions to control or intimidate the other person, often involving gaslighting, guilt-tripping, or threats. Verbal abuse. Using demeaning or hurtful language that breaks down the victim's self-esteem. Isolation. Attempting to isolate the partner from friends, family, or support systems in an effort to exert control. In many cases, the abused partner may feel trapped or afraid to leave, but separation or divorce becomes necessary for their safety and well-being. No one should remain in an abusive relationship, and intervention through counseling, safety planning, and legal support may be required. Irreconcilable differences. Sometimes couples simply grow apart over time. They may no longer share the same values, interests, or goals. These differences may not stem from a specific fault or wrongdoing, but rather from the natural evolution of individuals. People change, sometimes in ways that are difficult to reconcile with their partner's expectations or desires. Some examples of irreconcilable differences include diverging life goals. One partner may desire to settle down and start a family, while the other may want to focus on career goals or personal freedom. changes in values or beliefs. Over time, partners may find that they have differing religious, political, or philosophical views that create a sense of distance. Personality differences. One person may become more introverted while the other thrives in social situations, leading to tension and frustration. Growth in different directions. As people grow and evolve, they may realize that they are no longer on the same life path or share the same vision for the future. In such cases, divorce may be seen as a way to allow both individuals to live in alignment with their own aspirations and needs, even if no single event or betrayal led to the breakdown of the marriage. External pressures. External pressures, such as financial troubles, family dynamics, or stress from work, can exacerbate existing problems within a marriage and contribute to its breakdown. While these factors may not be the direct cause of the divorce, they can intensify existing tensions and make it harder for couples to work through their issues. Financial difficulties. Economic hardship can place significant stress on a relationship. Uncertainty about money, job loss, debt, or disagreements about spending can create resentment and strain the marriage. Money-related conflicts are often cited as one of the top causes of divorce. Family dynamics. Interference or conflicts with in-laws, extended family, or children can create tension in the marriage. For example, a partner who feels overly controlled by their family or who faces challenges in managing their relationship with their spouse's family can experience added stress. Work-related stress. Job pressures, long hours, or constant stress from work can spill over into a marriage. When one or both partners are mentally and emotionally exhausted from work, they may have little energy left to invest in the relationship, leading to emotional distance. Health problems. Chronic illness, mental health struggles, or the inability to care for oneself can also strain a marriage. The caregiving responsibilities that fall on one partner, along with the emotional toll, can create feelings of resentment or burnout. In these cases, the couple may begin to feel overwhelmed or unable to manage the pressures they face, and they may struggle to maintain a healthy, supportive relationship. Divorce may seem like the only option when external factors seem insurmountable. Pastoral care approach. Your role as pastoral counselors is not to pass judgment, but to provide a compassionate, supportive environment for those experiencing divorce and separation. Here are some key aspects to consider when providing pastoral counseling. Listen actively. Why it's important. Active listening is essential in counseling because it creates a space where the individual feels truly heard. Divorce is often accompanied by a myriad of emotions, including anger, guilt, sadness, confusion, and sometimes relief. These emotions can be overwhelming and complex. If a person feels that they are not being heard, these emotions may become more difficult to process, and healing may be delayed. Here are some ways to accomplish this. Give your full attention. When someone is sharing their story, focus entirely on them. Put aside distractions like checking your phone or looking at your watch. Show through your body language that you are present. Maintain eye contact, nod occasionally, and lean in slightly to show engagement. Reflective listening. As the individual shares, reflect back what you hear to confirm your understanding. This might include paraphrasing or summarizing what they've said. For example, it sounds like you feel betrayed because your partner didn't communicate with you openly, or you are feeling overwhelmed by the financial stress and emotional toll of the separation. This reassures them that they are being understood and allows them to clarify if needed. Ask open-ended questions. Encourage deeper reflection by asking questions like, "How did that make you feel?" Or, "What was the most challenging part of that experience?" These questions allow the person to process their thoughts and emotions at their own pace. Validate their emotions. Even if the emotions seem irrational or difficult to understand, acknowledging them can help the person feel heard. For example, you could say, "It makes sense that you would feel angry," or "It's understandable that you feel uncertain about what comes next." Pause for silence. Sometimes people need time to reflect before they speak. Don't feel the need to immediately fill any silence. Instead, be comfortable with the quiet and allow them to gather their thoughts, showing that you are patient and willing to listen. The goal of these questions is to create a sense of empathy and connection where the individual feels safe to express their feelings without fear of being dismissed or misunderstood. Be non-judgmental. Why it's important. Many individuals going through divorce already feel a deep sense of failure, whether due to external societal pressures or their own internalized guilt. If pastoral counselors are perceived as judgmental, it can exacerbate feelings of shame and isolation, which can hinder the healing process. Here are some ways to help with healing. Adopt a stance of empathy and understanding. Approach each individual story without preconceived notions. Recognize that every relationship is unique and there may be a multitude of reasons for the divorce. Your goal is to support, not to evaluate their choices. Avoid moralizing language. Instead of saying, "What went wrong with your marriage?" or "Divorce is a failure of commitment," frame your language in a way that doesn't assign blame. For example, "Can you help me understand what led to the decision to separate?" Or, "It sounds like there are a lot of challenges that built up over time." This approach acknowledges the difficulty of their experience without judgment. Encourage self-compassion. Many people struggling with divorce feel guilty for the end of their marriage. Help them to extend the same compassion to themselves that they would offer to a friend in a similar situation. You might say, "This is a difficult chapter, and you've been doing the best you can under the circumstances." Create a judgment-free environment. Establish the groundwork early on that your role is to walk alongside them in their pain, not to evaluate their actions. It's essential that the person feels accepted and respected, no matter the circumstances of their divorce. The goal here is to help individuals feel supported and accepted, regardless of their perceived failure, and to reduce feelings of guilt and shame during the healing process. Acknowledge grief. Why it's important. Divorce is not only the end of a marriage, but often the end of many hopes, dreams, and expectations. Regardless of who initiated the divorce, the person may be grieving the loss of the relationship, their vision for the future, their identity within the marriage, or the family unit. Acknowledging grief in all its forms helps the individual process their emotions and move toward healing. How to acknowledge the grief. Identify the grief. Understand that grief manifests in many different forms. It may not only be about the end of the relationship itself, but also about other losses, such as the loss of shared dreams, financial stability, or the sense of belonging. The person may also be grieving the loss of a sense of self as their role in the relationship changes. Acknowledge these various dimensions of grief. Normalize the grieving process. Let the individual know that grief is a natural and healthy part of the healing process. It is okay to feel sadness, anger, or confusion. There is no right or wrong way to grieve. Use phrases like, "Grieving is different for everyone. It's important to honor how you're feeling, even if it seems messy." Validate their pain. Don't downplay the emotions that come with divorce. For example, saying things like, "I understand this is hard for you," or "It makes sense that you feel hurt and angry," helps the person feel that their pain is valid. Help them express grief. Encourage the person to articulate their grief through journaling, prayer, or even just talking more. Give them permission to cry, express frustration, or say what's been left unsaid. Sometimes people feel the need to suppress their grief, so giving them space to express it is essential. Support in managing loss. Help the individual navigate the stages of grief, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance, as outlined by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, recognizing that these stages don't necessarily happen in a linear order. Offer ongoing support as they journey through these stages. Your goal here is to create a space where grief is acknowledged, validated, and processed in a healthy way, allowing the individual to move forward in healing. Respect confidentiality. Why it's important. Confidentiality is a cornerstone of trust in pastoral counseling. Without it, individuals may be unwilling to share their most vulnerable emotions, thoughts, and struggles. Divorce is often a deeply personal and painful experience, and maintaining confidentiality ensures that the individual can speak freely without fear of judgment or the information being shared inappropriately. How to accomplish confidentiality. Clarify boundaries at the start. At the beginning of counseling, Clearly explain your commitment to confidentiality, except in cases where safety or legal issues are at risk, such as child abuse or suicidal ideation. This reassures the individual that they can trust you. Maintain privacy. Do not discuss the details of their case with others without permission. Be mindful of confidentiality, even in casual settings, ensuring that conversations about the person's situation remain private. Be cautious with shared information. If you do feel the need to consult with others, such as a colleague or supervisor, for guidance, ensure that any details shared are anonymized and that you can only disclose what is necessary. Model confidentiality through your actions. Show through your behavior that you take their privacy seriously. Refrain from discussing any counseling matters outside of the session and be careful not to bring up their situation in social settings. Create a safe space. Let the individual know that this space is for them to be open and honest without fear of their story being shared outside of the counseling room. The goal here is to build trust and ensure that the individual feels secure in sharing their deepest feelings and concerns, knowing they will be respected and protected. By addressing these aspects with depth and sensitivity, you can create an environment where the person going through divorce or separation feels truly supported, heard, and empowered to begin the healing journey. Each individual will have their own timeline, needs, and emotional experiences, so the counselor's role is to adapt and provide ongoing compassion and care. Theological and scriptural insights. It is important to gently guide individuals through the theological implications of divorce and separation, rooted in Scripture and the teachings of the Church. Taking a cautious and gentle approach is essential, particularly when dealing with people of faith, for several reasons. This method acknowledges both the emotional and spiritual complexities of the situation, as well as the person's relationship with God and the Church. Thank you for joining us. This is the end of Part 1 on pastoral counseling for divorce and separation.